All the lights are coming on now. How I wish that it would snow now. I don't feel like going home now. I wish that I could stay. All the trees are on display now. And it's cool.
Hello everyone, it's Emelina, EZC Film Girl, and I'm finally back for an update this round. I am in P2 round 4, and it is VLCD 26 today. This is my third update for this round, and I guess in round 4 I just don't have a whole lot to tell, as in like daily stuff, because it's just all so normal and I'm used to whatever's going on. But I think that I can come on every so often and kind of like give you guys thoughts and, you know, learning and that sort of thing. So I guess I'll just kind of really quickly tell you about what I do on my round, and then tell you about the last few weeks, because it's been party season, and party season is a pain in the butt when you're in P2. No matter how strong-willed you are, it is. Let me put it this way. I had a dream last night that I was on VLCD 25, which was what I was on yesterday. I weighed 146, which is what I weighed yesterday. And I'd had this perfect day, which is what I had had yesterday. And then somebody made some food in my dream. And I was like, I'm going to eat this. And I ate it and I ate it. And I was like, freaked out. And then I woke up this morning, I'm like, oh my God, it's so late. I haven't done my injection yet. But I hadn't screwed up my day. So all day today, I've been really focused on being good P2er, staying pretty pop. So I'm just going to talk about the last couple weeks and some new realizations, because, you know, when you have all this time away from food, like experimenting with food and figuring food out, P2 is so strict that you don't even have to think about that stuff. You have a lot of time to kind of think and figure things out for yourself. So, I'll just talk about that. So I'm on VLCD 26. I started my round at 158.4. That was way over my LDW of round 3. And today I'm 144.8 on VLCD 26. So, you know, things are moving along slowly. What's really interesting is that I do seem to look a little bit more cut and shapely than I was at 144, 146 at the end of round 3. So I seem to be trimming down even more. I'm not real scientific about my HCG and my body fat and all that. I wish I was, but the thing is like there's amazing people like HCG Chica out there. So I feel like she's proven to me how well this works, and I don't need to go and do hydrostatic body fat testing to prove to myself, because I believe in it. But at the same time, it would be nice to know. But I can visually see kind of like my arms have kind of, well, you can't see my arms. There's nothing here to see. But they are getting like shapes. You know, you're standing in the mirror and you're doing your hair and you're in your pants and you're like, I don't have that fat roll like down here where my bra is, or, you know, whatever. So those are the kind of things I'm noticing. My waist is shaping out a bit more. I've had some realizations this round, and I think I'm going to have a even more fantastic P3 and P4, because I've got some intentions for my P3 and P4 that I really didn't have in my last round. So I'm going to talk about that. It's coming up to me, right, that it's very important to not plan what you want to eat in P3 and not spend a lot of time thinking about that. So I'm going to talk about that a little. And then I'm going to talk about doing a round during the holidays, aka parties, baking, and what's in my freezer right now. So those are the things I want to talk about on this video, and hopefully I'll kind of stick on that. So what I really want to get onto is the making intentions for P3 and P4, and this has all come up with like my family and what's, they're all with me right now. They're not on a diet. I've been going to lots of parties and I've been baking. And I was doing really good and I've not been having cravings, but what's been coming up has been like anger. So it's not that I didn't really want the food that they're eating, it's that I kind of feel angry that they're eating it. And I realized that the anger was that I felt like I couldn't eat it. And that gave me a realization about the P3 and P4 of round 2 and 3. So here I am on round 4. I really made an intention to, on this round, just be very successful with kind of refinding my way with food, because I really have for quite a long time had a much more healthy relationship with food. Then I started HCG and I couldn't believe this amazing, wonderful relationship I had with food in that first P3 and P4. And then last year in round 2 and 3, it all went to shit. And I had all kinds of crazy issues with food come up. And I was angry all the time. And I finally realized, like this week, what all that was. And there's more layers to it, but this is a big part of it. When I was like 201, 195, the weight I was for 10 years, I could never get under it. There was a period during that 10-ish years of being overweight where I got very angry. And I was angry because I felt that I couldn't have foods. I felt that I didn't deserve to have a slice of cake. I didn't deserve to eat pizza. I didn't deserve to ever go have Chinese food. I didn't deserve to eat out. Not because it was going to make me gain weight, but because it wouldn't help me lose weight, because I wasn't thin enough to deserve to enjoy food. I'm a great lover of food. Food tastes amazing to me. One time, one of my mom's friends who's an astrologer said she thinks that earth signs, and I'm a Capricorn, she said, I believe earth signs actually really taste and really smell. She's like, they're very attuned to what's around them. And so their experience of food is more intensified and more phenomenal because they taste. And I can have a recipe and taste what's in it and go home and make it. I really taste food. And I really enjoy it and I really love it. And I really love whole natural foods. I really love wonderful fresh butter. And I love eggs that are like just from the chicken coop. And I like every vegetable. So, I like food. I enjoy it. So, got totally off track here, but let me get back to this. So I realized that I was having really similar feelings of feeling like I didn't deserve, and at 160, 162, 163, 155, 145, I was feeling like I didn't deserve food. I'm not thin enough. I wasn't thin enough to enjoy and eat the foods that down the line I should be able to have. That's what I was thinking. There's a fear that I'm not going to make it into the 130s. And if I had actually maintained my weight after round 3, I would. So there's like feelings that I didn't do good enough and I'm undeserving or something. And if I don't make it to the 130s, that's somehow scary. And that's going to put me to like maybe possibly having to do 2 more rounds, which of course, who wants to do more rounds? I will be so excited and happy when I'm done. So yeah, there was some fear coming up there. And the thing is if you go into P3 kind of with an open heart, you don't have plans, you're not like, in P3 I'm going to eat this and this and this, and then you realize you can't fit all those calories into one day and you get mad, and then the next day you can't eat everything as well and you get mad again. Like, I'm going to go into P3 with no intentions of what I'm going to eat. The only intention I'm going to go into P3 is that the first few days I'm going to be really low calorie. Just give my body in the first few days time to acclimate to food. And then I'm going to not worry so much about counting calories, and I'm going to worry a lot, and I'm going to focus more on hunger. Because I've experienced that you can kind of eat what you want in P3 as long as you don't eat sugars and starches. And I'm going to weigh myself, because the only way that I know how to see how my body is reacting to a food is to weigh myself. Now, I want to be able to eat any foods I want, but I also want to know how I react to them. So I am going to weigh myself. That's never really been an issue that I was or wasn't going to weigh myself. But last summer, I wasn't weighing myself because I would get scared. I would eat for 3 or 4 days to like capacity, eating P3 foods. And I would get scared, and then I wouldn't weigh myself for 2 weeks. And then I'd weigh myself and things would be okay, but I wouldn't know what had happened in that small time. And I wouldn't have any proof that I was doing okay. It was just, I was out of control. So that's a big thing for me. And then the realization that I had all that anger coming up, and it was related to, feeling like I'm not allowed. And so that goes to the freezer. In the freezer, okay, so I've been going to all these parties and I've been baking. I can't help it. I like baking. I like to take stuff to parties, and then people eat it, and they're like, holy crap, like, who made this? And I'm like, it's me. Yeah. I'm a little bit of a narcissist when it comes to baking. I love making good food. I love feeding people. I'm actually a pretty good cook as well. My goal in life is to be a little Mexican grandmother. Like, I love Mexican food, and I like to make really good food that's Mexican and vegetarian. So, yeah. Anyway, that was a little off track. But so I've been making all these delicious pies and cakes, blah, 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 going to all these parties. And I've made it through all these parties just drinking seltzer water. I eat my meal before I go, and then I just drink seltzer water, and I'll bring whatever seltzer water I want from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's or wherever, flavored, like no sugaring, no sweetener, just flavored seltzer water like orange or berry or lemon or lime. And I bring this to these parties, and I've been doing totally okay. And then I'll have like an espresso or something with a little cream in it. So I do fine. But I've been taking a slice of everything I've made that people have been really like, this is the best ever. And including my family. They've been like, this is the best apple pie you've made. This is the best, banana cake you've made ever. So, and I've got a freezer full of slices of pies and cakes, and also some other people's foods, like some sort of a freshly butchered turkey from Los Angeles, stroganoff, and I was like, that smells like heaven, and I'm going to take it home and put it in my freezer. So I've got all these P4 foods, and that has been a frustration for me in the past, I would cook foods and then in P3 and P4 and then not eat them because I felt like I didn't deserve them. So it's going to be a real challenge to get into this next upcoming P3 and P4 and be kind to myself and let myself have foods. And I think that for me, I'll eat them and then I'll weigh myself the next day and see how it goes. And I probably won't have to correct, because honestly, when I eat consciously, I almost never have to correct. It's when I eat out of anger and fear that I end up having to correct and fix things. So I think that may solve my problems by being kind of open to myself, by being conscious, by being kind, and like allowing myself to have things, allowing myself to experiment. And also, the biggest thing ever is I'm not making plans for P3. None. I'm not going to be like, on day 1, I'm going to eat eggs with cheese and this and that. No. When I wake up on P3 day 1, I'm going to go like, what am I hungry for? And that's what I'm going to eat. And the only way for me personally to have success is to come to terms with, I'm allowed to eat what I want in P3. I'm allowed to eat what I want in P4. I don't think there's any reason in P3 to eat sugars and starches ever. It's a very satisfying time, I've always found. You want to set that weight in so that when you do get to P4, you can have a little experimentation. So if I look at P3 that way, I think I'll be all right. And I think if I don't pre-plan and I get to P4, that food in my freezer is not going to be such a monster to me. And it's not even a monster to me right now, but the intention is to make sure it doesn't get to that point. So that's my plan. But I'll be back soon. Anyway, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.